Hi everyone. Today we are joined by Mubeen Peerjade to help us unpack the importance of measuring and reflecting on culture. Welcome to the podcast, Mubeen.
Yeah, thank you, Umang.
Hi, Mubeen. My first question to you is that how do you know the success of a culture initiative?
So, for me, culture succeeds when it gets reflected naturally in day-to-day activities. So, that is an example of, I would say, that gets reflected in performance, that gets reflected in the trust, and also gets reflected in retention of the employees. So, for me, that's, I would say, the shortest form of the culture.
Very well said, Mubeen, that culture should be reflected in day-to-day activities. Thank you for that. So, Mubeen, my next question is, can you share a time when team feedback led to cultural change?
So this is a very recent example. There were too many new recruits that onboarded recently, and we observed a trend where repeated or frequent errors were happening, and that were not of very major in nature. They were very minor or silly mistakes, and these mistakes were never been part of our activity, or I would say project activities earlier. And when we deep dive into that particular problem, we identified that the people who were there earlier, they used to communicate this in an informal way. So there was no such a defined or a formal channel available to exchange this data. So basically, I come from an automation team, and then there is certain data which flows from automation department to mechanical team. Similarly, some data flows from mechanical team to automation team. So this is nothing but I would say data integration or data exchange things that happens, and there were these frequent errors that were repeated in nature, and we identified. Then we actually came across the fact that okay, now we have to formalize this, because this was something which were there with certain people. So actually this led us to, I would say, have a culture of knowledge sharing as well as exchanging this data. So this particular feedback helped us to incorporate a new process which we actually formalized this data exchange between the teams, and that actually helped us to improve, and we actually were able to see these results in our projects, and that was fantastic.
That's a great example, Mubeen. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Umang.